everyone, welcome to Off the Beaten Pot. My name is Tom and today we are cooking Ikea style meatballs. The trickiest bit about this video, I would say, would be the order in which to do it. How I'm envisaging this is you get some oil in your pan, get that hot and start frying up your meatballs. So you get them frying, and then when they're pretty much done, we're going to make the sauce. We can use that sauce to cook the peas in as well as we heat towards the end, because that's going to have to sit somewhere while we do the potatoes. Nothing should take long. So once that is fried, then, well, let's just get into it and see what happens. I went to the freezer aisle in my local supermarket and I bought some vegan meatballs. Ikea actually sell the meatballs and the veggie meatballs as well. They also sell the lingonberry sauce, they sell the gravy, everything you need really to make these. So what's also great is they sell the cartons of the sauce ready to go, but they also sell these dehydrated packets. So I picked a bunch of these up, and they say just add double cream and heat for 5 minutes. So what I've done here, instead of double cream, I've added a big heaped tablespoon of powdered milk into here, and I'm going to add a spoonful of powdered potatoes, which I hopefully will thicken and with the milk act as the cream. So I'm going to use my lid for my pot just to try and use as a plate while I construct some meatballs. See how that goes. Actually, I was scared that it'll crumble and fall apart, but that is a tasty meatball. Well, that's yet to be seen, I suppose. There's my little tray meatballs. So now what we're going to do is fire up the trangia and just enough olive oil to get them cooking. Get this nice and hot. I want a relatively hot oil on this to almost sear the meatballs as they drop in. And I don't want them sticking, so I'm just going to roll them, so keeping them close to the flame. So those of you who've been following me for a while, you know I use the Gerber Complete for cooking. Those of you who didn't know that, because you're new here, welcome, thank you, and please feel free to subscribe to the channel. That would be wonderful for the algorithm and yourselves. The Gerber Complete's amazing. It's just fork, spoon, multi-tool. I've done a video, you can watch it here, but we're in it for the spatula today. Obviously there's two of us here today, so it could be that I do this and the sauce for both of us, and Dad sorts the mash out. That would maybe be the reasonable way forwards. However, a lot of people who watch my channel, they like to cook on their solo camp, so you might not always have access to two burners or have two people. So I'm going to try and show you how to do it, or at least how I do it. So I'm starting with these meatballs, which are starting to smell really nice now. And the next thing I'm going to add to them, I'm going to make rather, is the gravy. So I'm going to get these properly cooked, and then I'm going to make the gravy up in my pot. I've got a bit of water left over from earlier in there from the coffees. Just plain water, obviously, dickhead. So that's hissing and fizzing nicely. Now, to work out the amount of water I need, I'm sort of looking at the water and thinking, is that how much sauce I want? Because all adding the powder will do is thicken the water, if that makes sense. So I've got these lovely little grades on the side that start at 200, which is useful. So I would say I've got about 100 ml of water in this pot. And now while the water's cold, I'm going to start adding my powder. and it will thicken a little as you heat it, especially now we've put the potato powder in. And now that I've mixed this in here, I'm going to pour it into the meatball mix. I'm gambling. I'm gambling on the fact that that's going to thicken. And if it doesn't thicken straight away, that's fine. I will add some more potato powder to it. Most of us don't live near an Ikea. I don't. The reason I dropped in is because I don't live near an Ikea and it felt a bit fruity to go in. You know, all fun for the family. So these packets are great, but if the recipe I'd make is almost like 2 tablespoons of gravy, like Bisto, 1 tablespoon of milk, maybe 2, and 1 tablespoon of powdered potatoes. Then I'd add salt, pepper, garlic and mustard powder, and I think that would get you pretty close, or at least pretty nice mix. As this is boiled now, that's got lovely and thick. Nice, so that is good news, and that's a nice texture. To the point actually, I'm probably going to take that off now. So now we're on to the mashed potatoes. I'm just pouring, again it's the same principle, isn't it? How much mash do we want to eat? You visualise the water level. Is that enough mash for me? Yes, I think it is. And now we're going to, that's straight onto the flame, so that's getting warm now. Potato is an incredible thickener, so we're just going to add this bit by bit until it looks like mashed potato. When it starts to boil, it will start to thicken. And then we've still got the peas to do. So again, adding more potato just gets slightly thicker because this is pretty much at temperature. That is our mashed potato right there. And I'm just going to put these meatballs with the sauce back on because that is how we're going to cook the peas. So I've added the mashed potatoes into the pan and the lingonberry jam. All we've got to do now is put it in our face. Ikea style mashed potatoes and meatballs on Dartmoor. I'm Tom, this is Off the Beaten Pot. Matthias Eriksson, this one's for you. I hope I've not offended your country. Cheers and gum.